It's pretty common knowledge at this point that The Walking Dead's second season got off to a really rough start production-wise. This of course is because the director was fired really early into the production of the second season, as well as the network increasing the number of episodes but decreasing the budget. With all the creative decisions that were being changed, there was ultimately 3 versions of the very first episode of Season 2. One of course being the official and amazing Season 2 premiere that we all know and love, but there were actually 2 other versions of this episode that we never got to see come to fruition. So what I want to do today is talk about the other 2 versions of the premiere episode for Season 2 and talk about what could have been. So the first version of the premiere episode for Season 2 was set to be completely different than what we got and sort of a Twilight-esque episode. This episode would follow a soldier at the start of the apocalypse who goes into Atlanta, played by Sam Witwer. Witwer is a great actor, and he did a lot of work for Star Wars, which I'm unfamiliar with, but I do recognize him from Season 1 of Dexter as Neil Perry. There's an interview on YouTube from roughly 10 years ago where Witwer talks about the details of this episode. The general premise is that the soldier leads people to safety and needs to take out his superior officer in order to save innocent civilians. Somewhere along the way, the soldier gets bit, crawls into a tank, and dies with a grenade on him. And this of course is the walker that Rick runs into inside the tank at the end of the first episode. And they actually handle this very well continuity-wise because in that first episode of The Walking Dead, this zombie is actually played by Sam Witwer.
Rick crawls in the tank, and there's a zombie there, and if you look closely, I played that zombie because we were setting up this prequel that we were going to do.
This idea was pitched by the at-the-time director Frank Darabont to Witwer and the network. According to Witwer, the episode was never made due to the budget being cut for the second season.
Not doing it now, not happening. Why? Because AMC wanted to save a few bucks.
The idea also was to have some of the main characters from Season 1 pass through Atlanta. I think the only named character was Andrea, but I would assume it would be her sister as well and maybe some of the others like Dale. This episode had some really great potential in my opinion, and would have been easily the best episode if they made it for Tales of the Walking Dead. Upon watching this interview for the first time a couple weeks ago, I thought it was set to be an entire spin-off. However, upon doing some further research, I realized this was supposed to be the premiere episode for Season 2. Alright, so the next version of the premiere episode is more commonly known and is not a completely different episode from what we ended up getting. This one just has a large plot point and a lot of deleted scenes that didn't make it into the final version. I'm just counting this as a lost episode because this is a version of the episode that never came to fruition, and most people haven't seen it. So in this version of the episode, we see our gang completely surrounded and they decided to go back to the Vatos gang from Season 1. Once they arrive at the nursing home, it appears to be overrun with walkers on the outside, and as they go inside, they find something horrifying. What they see is that all of the residents are dead, but not from walkers, they've been executed by another group. They deliberate on who could have done this and what to do next. What I really liked about some of these scenes is that the character interactions in these are pretty interesting. We get a really cordial conversation between Daryl and Shane, which we didn't really get in the show before Shane was killed off. It also would have served as the first example of the foreshadowing that the threat in the world is really the people as opposed to the walkers. You can actually find the deleted scenes on the Season 2 DVD as well as on YouTube. I think it's roughly 15 minutes total. But let me know down below what episode you guys would have rather seen. I think personally for me, I would have liked to see the soldier in Atlanta. And thank you for watching.